So I wanted to show you a cool feature that I just worked on for Expose, which is an ngrok alternative, which will be open source and is written in PHP. So in here I have my dashboard where I can inspect all the incoming requests through my tunnel. So if I open this up, I can see the requests coming in here. So imagine that you are debugging a webhook. So this is a webhook endpoint and I can post data to it. So if I just send anything here, it shows up in my inspection dashboard. And if I click on it, I can see the post parameters in here. I can see the headers and I can see the response that we have here. So that's all good. Now, what I do a lot of times when trying to debug webhooks is, for example, I add log or dump statements in those webhook controllers or endpoints, whatever. So let's do this in this example. So in here, I can do something like dump request all. And then when we replay this event, then we see that, okay, we have this dump output in here, which also is the case in ngrok, and it's not really helpful at all to quickly see what is happening inside of the dump data. So with Expose, I added a pretty cool package that you can load into Laravel, but you can of course use it with other frameworks as well, that allows you to send this debug data and this dump data right to the inspection dashboard. So let me activate the middleware for this. And when the middleware is active and we are going to replay this request, then you can see that we suddenly have a lot of information in here. So first of all, the response remains clean. So we don't see any of the debug or dump output in the actual response. So whatever is calling our webhooks is still getting the actual response without any noise. Now the dump data gets displayed in here. So this is the dump that I had. Then we also get additional information through the middleware. For example, we get all the session information. So everything that's in the session when this request came in is automatically added to this inspection view. And we also have the queries. So for example, if I would instead do something like user first, replay, then we can see that the dump is the user and the query now contains the actual query information to obtain this user model. So this is all included in the middleware, and I just started working on it today, so I expect to add a lot more functionality to it. But you can also add your own custom key value pairs to this debug output. So you can, for example, add something like expose key value, and then once you run this post request again and visit the inspection, then you can see key value is being added to the debug data of this specific request. So I think this makes debugging webhooks a lot easier, and it also makes it a lot easier to debug any data and requests that you want to share. So for example, you can share your local environment and then test it on your iPad or send it to a client, and while they are using it, you can test and inspect informations. So yeah, that's the current state of the project, and we'll see where it goes.